Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and in this video we're breaking down Squid Game. The second season's already at an end, but after that finale, I thought we'd look to the future. Season 3 was written and shot back to back with 2, and we know that we'll be getting it next year. Throughout this video, we're going to be breaking down our theories and predictions about what could end up happening in the show. Firstly though, just a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll get into the video. So, as we head into 2025, you want a news organization you can trust. Staying up to date with things when you don't know the truth can be difficult, but that's where our sponsors, Straight Arrow News, comes in. They report right down the middle with facts and don't push any bias or spin to fuel a narrative. The site has a wide range of topics from politics to tech, but they're not trying to make you think a certain way. They also have a Media Mist tool which lets you look at stories that are often underreported or not reported at all. On top of this, the site has an opinion section which possesses both left and right voices, so you can see things by the opposite side and then make up your own mind. Straight Arrow News are so good at delivering the news. They've been awarded by independent experts in all sides and Ad Fontes Media, who regularly assess the reliability of news outlets. They verified Straight Arrow News as being unbiased and have awarded them with a center rating and balanced certification. We're just coming off the back of a big election in the US and one earlier in the year in the UK, with reports coming out constantly. Stay on top of it without the bias of spin by going to Straight Arrow News. Go to san.com/spoilers to check it out. You can also subscribe through my link. On top of that, you can scan the QR code on screen right now to go and get their app. When you subscribe, you not only support me, you're also supporting a group of journalists that are raising the bar on news and focused on serving you the truth. Huge thank you again to Straight Arrow News for sponsoring the video. Now, let's get into the rest of the breakdown. Okay, so the ending has Gi-Hun leading a rebellion, and he storms higher parts of the organization with some of the players. Grabbing guns through the guards, they fight their way to the top. However, at this point, they're betrayed by the frontman who'd been playing the games alongside with them. Donning his mask once more, he kills Jung Bae and then ends up taunting Gi-Hun. On the opposite side of this, we also see as several other players are wiped out, including the father who was there for his daughter. She had a rare form of blood cancer, and he was trying to get the money to pay for her treatment. Shot at the end of the series, I actually think he might still be alive. This is where I think number 11 will come into it. She spared him during red light, green light, and clearly felt for him. Seeing his daughter visit her at the theme park parade, she'd swapped out one mask for another. She clearly felt a lot of sympathy for him though, as she'd gone through the pain of potentially losing her daughter as well. However, he was shot, so you can see why people think he died. For me though, I think he'll be taken to the organ harvesting part of the plant. We know that people are wounded and escorted to this area, and the place he was shot probably wouldn't be fatal. Instead, I think he'll go there and then number 11 will save him from his fate. I feel like it's through him she'll switch sides and finally gain back her humanity. If you look at the scene again, you can see the guard points the gun at his heart and then moves it down before firing. It's possible that this is 11 under the mask and she's even saving his life. On the flip side of this, I also feel like she'll learn the games have manipulated her. Saying they can't find where her daughter is, I actually think they know fine well. However, she's been useful as a guard to them and thus they've lied and played dumb. But will the games themselves continue? Well, judging by the post-credit scene, we will be diving back into them with red light, green light. We see players approaching a game set at sunset, and along with Young Hee we have her brother. In case you don't know, there's a long story to the pair, with them coming from South Korean textbooks. During the 70s and 80s, they were mass-produced for schools, with the characters featuring in both. Young Hee was picked to make the game seem innocent, which was then juxtaposed by the bloodshed. Chol-soo typically wore a cap, and they've teased the character for a while. They've hinted that he's even worse, and we did learn the ins and outs of Young Hee's robot. Snipers shot the targets she selected, but obviously we have a revolution now. In the case of this, I wonder if they have countermeasures to kill the players when the guards are dead or simply unable to be there. I feel like Chol-soo might be able to kill players itself, and it could hunt them down as a machine of death. And the fact we get this makes it seem like the games are still gonna go ahead. If you pay close attention to the walls around the beds, you'll know they show what games are gonna come. This year, we had one that looks like players players playing monkey bars. I noticed this from when they first enter and kept thinking it was going to show up. However, it never did, and I think they'll have to go through that too. Potentially Gi-Hun talks down the rebellion as they've got him in a very vulnerable position. This could then lead to them playing again, and this is why we get it at the end. It's possible a frontman will lead this, but I do feel like he could have a change of heart. Throughout the episodes, we saw the good in him, and I think he'll end up returning to the light. The guy clearly still has that side, and this has been demonstrated in his actions. In season 1, he shot his brother in the shoulder and probably had the boat captain come and pick him up. This is an opposite to someone like the recruiter who was more than happy to kill his father. He also clearly saw some kinship in Triple 2, who he learned was pregnant. His wife was the same, and he even tells the other players she's still alive in the hospital. She died though, and potentially he could see saving Triple 2 as the best way to redeem that. So I do think he'll switch sides as well, and will then have his second in command take control. He was someone we met in the episode, and I could definitely see him taking over. I also wonder why it is they've kept Gi-Hun alive. Personally though, I feel like they want to break him and then have him take over. The frontman is a great example of a player who became part of the organization. With Ilnam now dead, I feel they want someone rich to lead. Gi-Hun could become this person, and I think they want to break him and then have him lead. So I think he'll be put in the games again, but he'll resist turning to the darkness. This may then pull the frontman out as well, as he did seem to be inspired by Gi-Hun. Now we of course also have his brother on the outside. Desperately searching for him, I think we'll see further events where the captain sabotages the mission. However, as more and more strange things happen, it's gonna be obvious what's going on. Like, how many men can slip overboard in the night before it becomes obvious? 8, obviously, but after that you kind of like, what's going on here? They'll likely find the sabotage drone as well, or even maybe notice something on the radio. They mentioned how they had to change frequencies, but it's possible they could hear chatter from something else. The front man has changed frequency as well, and notice to the organization. Gi-Hun may speak to his brother through that. Also, just the way the captain's acting, or rather not acting, it's very suspicious. When the explosion went off at the booby trap, you could see he barely reacted. So the guy ain't really got a good poker face. He also wanted to go back to the mainland and was desperate for them to go to the hospital. After a while, it just becomes a bit obvious, and there's only so long it can go on. I also feel like there'll be a further twist in season 3, and we'll learn more people are in the organization. I do feel like the police force have to be involved as well, and something like them would be needed to keep the missing people under wraps. Gi-Hun was also demoted, which could have been a play to keep him off the scent. The police could potentially be bribed by the rich, and they look the other way while the games carry on. Now because of this, I also wonder what's happening with the VIPs. They've been completely absent from the season, but we know they're up there watching the games. With season 3 being back to back, I do wonder if it's going to be something that has just 2 seasons around the 1 games. Instead of being a new roster next year, I think this will just be a continuation of these games. I think that would be an opportunity to show things about them, and we could fill up an episode with 1 or 2 of their backstories. This season, it was great seeing something from the point of view of a god, and they could do something with the VIPs. That would be the final key in understanding the societal structures the show's tackling. We have the lower class, middle class, and upper. The lower class are represented in the players, with the gods being the privileged. However, they're not too different from the ones in the lower class, and it's basically the upper class that lord over them all. It's basically a triangle structure as well, in which we get less members as we go to the top. So I think the series will study that next, and then go into who they are as well. Then they'll point the camera at us and say, you like getting entertainment from watching these characters die, don't you? You're just as bad as the VIPs, you piece of shit. And then Netflix will launch their own reality show that basically completely misses the entire point of the series. Oh, never mind, they've done that already. Anyway, that's my major predictions for season 3, and in the meantime, I'd love to hear what yours are. Please drop a like on the video, and also a comment with your predictions and theories, and if you're right, we'll give you no prize. Did you know though that members of the channel also get early access to videos? If you click the join button, you get at least 1 breakdown a week before anyone else. Costs just 99 cents a month, and we've tried to set it where hopefully it's not a lot to you, but if a lot of you do it, then it will mean a lot to us. So huge thank you to everyone who signed up, and if you want some merch, we've also got our t-shirt line located right below the video that will let you pick up all kinds of tops. Ones like our If You're Gonna Spoil the Movie Warner Brother one, that's great, Alien Chestburster one, Theory Time one, and a lot more. We drop new designs on there all the time too, so definitely keep an eye out, and thanks for your support. Now if you want something else to watch, we've got a big ending explain breakdown on the series right now. We go over every facet of it, talk about the spin-offs, and yeah, what we think's gonna be coming down the line. If not though, I hope you've had a great Christmas, all the best for New Year, and with that out of the way, I've been your your host, Paul. You've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.